And welcome back to the Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. And boy, have we got a week in review here that we've got to talk about, and also what's going to be coming this week. So, as you know, last week I did predict that we were going to be finishing red, and we have. Now, if I didn't, and I'm telling a lie, please go back and tell me. Check last week to make sure I'm not crazy. But I'm pretty sure I did tell everybody that we were going to be finishing bearish. And I want you to take a look at this weekly candlestick. Look at this big range that we were in here. Our range was all the way from 430.48 approximately to roughly 404.86. So that was our range that we traded in this week, and we could not crack above 430.48. Now, I've been studying what's to come as much as I can. I'm putting a lot of time into this. I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider donating to Market Wolf 3 at Venmo, the Venmo app, if I've helped you in any way. And please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're returning. It really helps me out a lot. Now, I'm being a little more quiet than I normally am because I'm cutting this later at night. I'm trying to rearrange my schedule to make sure I'm making time for family as well. That's important, and that should be number one. But I do want to continue to do this. So these shows will begin to be released hopefully just before pre-market is my goal. So I've got some zones here for you, and I've thought about this extensively. I want to start with the bull case for you, and we will go to the 30-minute, okay? So what I'm seeing here with these zones, let me explain this as I give you the bull case. The market does not really want to be up here in this red zone so much anymore. I believe these orders are finished for now. The yellow zone, it kind of doesn't mind being here, but ultimately it doesn't really want to be here. Right now you can see this area is a major zone of accumulation. We've spent a lot of time here, and it really looks like the market wants to be inside of this white zone. Even though we back tested the 406.95, that was great. The market says, yeah, we've got support there. We like that. We don't like being up here in this red zone so much. So the red zone is roughly between 422.02 and 430.48. The yellow zone is roughly between 415.11 and 422.02. And the white zone, where the market seems to like it right now, where the sweet spot is roughly between 414.80 and about, let me see. I'd say, 404.74, right about in there. That's about where the market likes to be right now. Actually, we could actually say 405.39 because that's that area of support. I just extended that white zone a little beyond that. So that's where the market tends to want to be right now. And I think the best bull case I have for you and the best bear case I have for you, this is going to play out over a little bit of time here. Let me go to the daily on this so you can have a better idea of how long this may take. Now, it doesn't have to take this amount of time. This could happen in a shorter period of time, but I think we're, like I put out on my emergency update, we're reaching a decision time here. You can tell I've made some major changes to the chart, and that's because I've been sitting here thinking about this for hours and hours and hours. I'm thinking for the best bull case that we want to see by May 11th, we want to see volume coming in. We want to see good incoming volume. We want to see structure beginning to build. And we really want to see that we start riding this purple line up that I have right here on this angle. And we want to start being able to build structure through these old zones. And I think we definitely want to come up here and try and complete a cup for the bull case. Now, I think what we have for the bull case as well, when we look at the weekly here, you could begin to say, well, we've been trading in that white zone and we seem to like the white zone. Maybe what we've got here is a base that the market is building up because, yeah, we kind of cracked through the 100-day EMA, but it's really kind of supporting us. Price is above it, and perhaps we want to hang out in this area where this 100-day moving average is, and we can build structure through there. This candlestick is showing that, we had this big range, and well, we kind of almost closed where we opened. And again, this is in this white zone. So, maybe we want to be here. Maybe the market is saying, yeah, this is good. It's not too much different from where, our zone was from last week towards the base of the candlestick. So, maybe we have just a little more downside and then we begin to pick up. Maybe we get a candle that on the daily rather than this weekly that really kind of will begin to propel us up. I will say we do see on the weekly increasing exiting volume. However, if you look at the daily, you're getting a little bit different story here. We're seeing some decent incoming volume here, and perhaps momentum is slowing down to the downside. It's tough to tell. We've kind of reached an area of almost what I would call, even on the weekly, I'd say this is, even though that price is a little bit low here, it's not quite really a gravestone doji, and this is kind of open to interpretation. I think you could call this, based on everything we're seeing, some indecision. So I think that's good for the bull case that maybe we begin to come back up next week. We still have momentum seemingly against us, but that can change on the weekly. We may have hit a peak on that exiting volume, and that might be what we're seeing with this indecision here. So that's something to consider for the bull case. We are underbought, and that's something else to consider for the bull case on the weekly, and I believe we're really kind of underbought on most of the time frames. In fact, if we go to the 30-minute, I wouldn't be surprised if we're really kind of underbought there at this point as well. We're not even really average. We're slightly underbought. We're just kind of trucking along sideways right now. So I think this area of accumulation may be a very good sign for the bulls that perhaps we're going to have a turnaround. Now, let me give you the bear case. The bear case is that, unfortunately, even though we're in this zone of accumulation, that we've got all the EMA lines on top of us. We've had a bearish divergence that is essentially completed. We got bullish for a moment, complete fake out, went right back to bearish. I want to show you even on the 4-hour here that we are, we're underneath that 20-day moving average, and that is not good. That is not a good sign at all to be underneath that 20-day moving average that way. And I do want to go to the daily to show you further that we're going to have some issues here possibly, right? So even on the daily here, we're that 20-day, we're way below it. It's on top of us. We've got all these EMA lines on top of us. And, we go to that weekly, and all we have is the 100-day supporting us. So, that's very bearish. And the other way you can interpret that candlestick on the weekly, if you wanted to, for a bearish case, is to say, look at this range we were trading in. We tried and we tried and we tried, but we got pushed down. We got pushed down hard. This is a long wick, and we might be in some trouble here. And again, I want to take you to and then again, look, weekly exiting volume. You could say, well, look, the momentum's against us. The volume is continuing to increase. We don't know that the exiting volume won't increase this coming week. I mean, the pattern seems to show that it will, and we're in a downtrend here. So that's a part of the bear case there. I want to take you to the daily though, because I want to show you this zone and the opposite of what can play out. And I want to show you also two potential moves, one of which I don't think would ever happen, and one of which I think is a possibility. Okay, so you can see on the daily here for the bear case that we are approaching this same area that I was speaking about here. I would say anywhere, again, this is for the bear and bull case, anywhere between May 9th, 10th, and 11th. Really by the 11th and possibly by the 12th, we're going to be making a decision about whether we are going up or down in this accumulation phase. And the bear case for breaking down is that even on the daily here, we can see we have some momentum in the opposite direction, maybe building. We're in this downward channel and we seem to be staying there. That's very bearish. We're getting sucked into this downward channel. We've got the EMA lines on top of us. We don't want to seem to ever break above the 430.48. And now we're just having issues trying to break through this yellow zone here. And so, let alone the red zone. So that's looking very bearish that we're on this, down a longer downtrend along with this downtrending channel. All of this is very bearish, right? And there's one other thing I wanted to say about the bear case, and I believe it is on the 4 hour. That's where I want to take you. But this could also be a bull case as well. Depends on how you interpret the data, right? Well, no, not really. I take that back. So on the 4 hour, we see with the volume, we've got decreasing incoming volume and we've got increasing exiting volume on the 4 hour. And that to me looks like a bearish divergence of sorts, right? I mean, it looks like we're getting more and more bearish on the volume. There are so many cases to be made for the bear here that it's really kind of leaning towards the bears, in my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion now. I believe that we're going to see this play out over this period of time, like I've said, somewhere on one of those days, and I think May 12th, the latest, we're going to be making a decision. I have a feeling it'll be the 11th, but it could be the 12th. I mean, we could be as far out, before making a decision. If we really just kept accumulating, it could go all the way out to May 16th, but I have a hard time believing that because we've already been in this accumulation phase for a while, but it is possible that we could break up or break down at that point. But really, I see us breaking down from that point for all the reasons I gave you for the bear case. And I want to give you measured moves now. Like if we were to break up, now let's say the bullish case plays out. Let's say it played out on, let's say it played out May 11th. Okay. Now I'm not saying we're actually going to get this high. I'm saying that's the range it could be, and I don't think we will get this high. But see, I'm giving you no, not that way. Let's just say from where price is right now. We break up. What does that give us? Approximately a 12.77% move up that would actually give us a new high. Now, I'm not saying that would happen all at once for the bulls. That would be something that we'd have to build on, and that's potentially where we could go. It would have to be relatively quickly, but we could build and go there. And then our move down, which I believe is more likely, and I want to get into some of what's going to happen with that on this chart so you have it available to you. I think we could see about a 10.26% drop, 10.34% drop rather at most. And I think that's more likely. You can see here like my support and resistance lines that I've got up. I've got these colored differently compared to usual. The reason these support lines down here are red is because I feel like these are areas that we could fall through very quickly. So if we were to crack this support of 400.542 and we were to touch 403.53, I think from there you fall through pretty fast with these former support areas, and I don't think you find support again definitively until 393.80. Now understand that these green lines from 393, what did I say, 80? I think I meant 90. From those green lines, from that area down, all these green lines I have on this chart, these were very old trading areas. They could hold weight, but perhaps not. Maybe you see a 10% drop in one day, and that's that big move we've been waiting for off of for those that are playing the downside, So that's interesting. And everything does look incredibly bearish, so I think that's the direction we're heading. Now, how fast we get there is another question. But that does seem to be the targeted areas. Those are the targeted areas I have found that will likely play out to the upside or to the downside. Now, I think realistically on the upside, I would have to see us break about 437.24 before I believe we are going to go to kind of invalidate some of these old areas. Like we've been at, we're about the 462.10, and really the peak isn't far off there because what I'm saying is about 464.64 is the highest you can see for the bull case. So that's the bear case, that's the bull case, that's where I see us going, and I at least see us very bearish next week. That's not to say that we couldn't recover through that week. I think we're kind of in a place of indecision overall. But I do think we could see a precipitous drop. So, for instance, if we were to close like the week, if we were to hang out in these, maintain these red support levels and we only came that far down, it's possible that by the end of the week we could build structure back up and actually close higher on the week and begin to go green. So I really think next week we either see a week that ends with indecision or we see a week that ends bearish. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. That's the bear case. That's the bull case. I am the Market Wolf. Please leave questions, comments. Please hit the like button. Please, if you would, consider donating. I'd be grateful. And feel free to use my chart. I'm going to look in to see about how I can publish this and put this out for there for you to use and start leaving a link in the description box below. If I get that figured out before this video posts, I will do that for you. I will see you next time on the Market Wolf.